Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video lecture, I am going to solve next 10 questions, question 51 to question 60 from this particular chapter, CRP5 from Keith Williams General Navigation book. So let's start with question number 1. I'll directly take it from Keith Williams. CH3 base sum, true airspeed 198, heading winds given. So true airspeed is 198 knots. True airspeed is 198. Heading 180, winds 359 at 25. So what will be the ground speed? 223 knots and track will be 180. So option number, so track 180 and ground speed 223 knots. So option Charlie will be the correct option. Question 52, task 135. So put task 135 here. Heading 278. The task 135 knots, heading 278, winds 140 at 20, you get a ground speed of 150 and true course of 283. Option A is the closest option. Next question 53, task given, heading given, task 225, heading 123, winds 90 at 60, track and ground speed. So ground speed is 177.7 and track is 134. So option Charlie is the correct option. Question 54, task 480, heading 040, winds 90 at 60. This gives you a true track of 034 and ground speed 444. So option A is the correct option, 034 and 445 knots. Question 55, true airspeed 155 knots, heading 216, winds 90 at 60. So a ground speed of 196 and course of 230. So option A is the correct option. Next 56, task 170, heading 100, winds 350 at 30, track and ground speed. So track of 109 degrees, ground speed of 182. So option Bravo is the correct option. Question 57, task 235, heading 76, winds 40 at 40. So this gives you a ground speed of 204 knots. Okay, and true course of 083. So course is 083, heading is 076. Now when course is more than heading, the drift is starboard. Okay, so the correct option here will be option Bravo. 7 degrees starboard or right drift with 204 knots. Question 58, task 440, heading 349, winds 40 at 40 at 40. So ground speed 416 or 415 knots. True course is 345. Heading given in the question 349. Now when heading is more than course, you have port drift, left drift. So correct option is option alpha. 415 knots, 4° left. Question 59, task 465, heading 124, 170 at 80 winds. Ground speed will be 413 knots. So either alpha or Charlie, and course is true course is 116, heading is 124. So when heading is more than track, you have a port drift or left hand side drift. So correct option is option Charlie. Next task is 95, heading is 075, winds 310 at 20. Ground speed 108 knots, so either alpha or delta, and true course 84, heading 075. Drift is equal to course more than heading. So when course is more than heading, you have a starboard drift. Okay, so correct option will be delta. Next, 61. Task 140, heading 005, and winds 265 at 25. So ground speed 146 knots and drift. So course is 11015 here, heading is 005. So when course is more than heading, you get right drift. Okay. So the correct option here is option Bravo. 10° right drift, speed 146 knots. Next task 190, heading 355, winds 165 at 25. So ground speed will be 215 knots. Course will be 354. So when track of course is less than heading, you get port drift. So correct option here is option Bravo. Option Bravo. 1° left, 215 knots. 63 task 230 knots, heading 250, winds 205 at 10. So ground speed 223 knots and true course 252 or track 252. Now whenever track is more than heading, you have a starboard drift. So the correct option here is ground speed 223. So option delta. 2° starboard drift and 223 knot ground speed. 64. Task 205, heading 180, winds 24025. Ground speed will be 193.71 or 194 knots. What is course? Course is 174, right? And heading given in the question is 180. Now when heading is more than course, that is port drift. So correct option here will be option Bravo, 6° left drift and 194 knots. Next, task 250, heading 029, winds 35 at 45. So correct option is ground speed 205 knots. Course is 28. So drift will be what? Heading, whenever heading is more than track, drift will be 1 degree left drift. So 1 degree left and ground speed 205. So option A is the correct option. Question 66, task 132, heading 053. Winds 205 at 15. So ground speed will be 145 knots and true course 050. So 050 at 145 knots. So option Charlie is the correct option. Next question 67, task 90, heading 355, 120 at 20. So ground speed is 102.79 or 103. So here 102 is the closest. Track is 346. So 346 at 102 is option Bravo. Question 68, task 485, heading 168, 130 at 75. Ground speed 428 knots. Track 174. So option alpha is the correct option. Next, task 155, track 305, winds 160 at 18. Ground speed will be 169 knots and heading will be 301. So option Bravo is the correct option. Task 130, track 003, winds 190 at 40. So ground speed will be 169.6 or 170 knots. Heading will be 1 degree. So 1 degree and 170 knots. So option A. Next 71, task 227, track 316, winds 205 at 15. Ground speed will be 232 knots and heading will be 312. So 312 and 232. So option Charlie will be the correct option. 72, task 465, track 7 degree, winds 300 at 80 knots. The correct option here, ground speed is 427.8, so 428 knots, heading 358. So option alpha is the correct option. Next, task 200, track 73, winds 210 at 20. So heading and ground speed. Now heading is 77 and ground speed is 214. So option delta is the closest option. Question 74, task 200, track 110, winds 15 at 40, ground speed 199, okay, and heading 99. So option alpha. Question 75, task 270, track 260, winds 275 at 30. That gives us true heading of 262 and ground speed of 241. So option Bravo is the correct option. Next, 76, true heading 307, task 230, track 313, ground speed 210. This gives wind speed of 30 knots and wind direction 26 1. Okay, 261 at 30. So closest is option Bravo, 260 at 30. Question 77. True heading 233. As 480. Track 240. Ground speed 523. So winds 111 at 75 knots. Option Alpha, closest. Question 78. True heading 133. Task 225. Track 144. Ground speed 206. Gives wind 73 degree 45. So option Bravo, 72 at 45. Same. True heading 074. Task 230. At 66. Ground speed 242. So this gives 180 at 35. So winds 180 at 35, option delta. Question 18. True heading 206. Task 140. Track 207. Ground speed 135. So winds 181 at 5 knots. So correct option is option delta, 180 at 5. Question 81. True heading 054. Task 450. Track 59. Speed 416. Winds 8 degree at 51 knots. 8 degree. Wind speed 58. Wind direction 8. So 416, 059, 054, task 40. So winds 8 degree at 50.8 knots. Winds coming from 008 at 51 knots. So closest I'll go with option A, coming from 10 degrees at 50 knots. Okay. Question 82. True heading 145. Task 240. Track 150. Ground speed 210. So wind velocity 114 at 36. 114 at 36, option Charlie. 115 at 35. Okay. Question 83. True heading 2 degrees. Task 130. Track 353. Ground speed 132. Calculate winds. So winds 93 degree at 21 knots. 93 degree at 21 knots, closest is option Bravo, 95 at 20. Question 84. True heading 35. Task 245. Track 46. Ground speed 220. Winds will be 340 at 51. 340 at 51. Option Bravo. 340 at 50. Question 85. Course 085. Winds 30 at 085. 30 at 110. Correction, 100. Task 470. Distance 265. Uh, Calculate heading and flight time. So ground speed, you get a ground speed of 440. Heading is 86. Calculate true heading. True heading is 085, 030 at 10. Winds are 030 at 100. My fault. True course is 085 and task is 470. So true heading is 075. So either Alpha or Bravo. Ground speed is 405. Now with a ground speed of 405 knots, distance 265 nautical miles, time will be distance by speed. 405 divided by 265 equivalent to 1 hour 31 minutes. Correction. Distance is 265, right? So 265 divided by 405. 65 divided by 405. 39 minutes. So correct option is option alpha. Okay. Question 86. True course task winds given to you. Calculate compass heading and ground speed. Now course is 090. Task is 460 knots. Winds 360 at 100. So this gives you a ground speed of 449 knots and compass heading. Now what is true heading? It is 77. True variation magnetic deviation compass. True heading 77. Variation 10 east. Magnetic will be 067. Deviation is 2 west. So compass will be 069. So correct option here will be option alpha. Compass heading of 069. Ground speed of 449, 448 knots. Question 87. You are landing on runway 23, 227 magnetic. Winds are 180 at 30. So we'll use this slide. So runway is 23, 227. Winds are coming from 180 at 30. V1, 180 at 31 knots. So consider this is your knot datum. So your runway 227 or which means runway 23 will be oriented like this. 2305. Okay, winds are coming from 180. So winds are coming from south. 180 at 31. Now we are told, so if you are taking off from runway 23, this will be a left crosswind. Okay, left crosswind. We have to find crosswind component. The formula is crosswind component equals to wind speed into sine theta. Now here theta equals to your wind direction minus runway direction. Winds 180, runway 227. 180 minus 227 is minus 47. Crosswind component equals to wind speed 31 knots, sine of minus 47. Sine minus 47 is 0 minus 0.73 something. So multiply by 31 gives you answer 22.6 knots or approximately 23 knots. The minus sign, this minus sign represents left side, signifying winds are coming from your left hand side. This is a crosswind component of 23 knots, 22.6. So option Bravo. Okay, next. Maximum allowable tailwind component for landing is 10 knots. Tailwind is 10 knots. Planned runway 050, runway 047 accurate magnetic direction, labeled 05, direction of winds 210. ATIS reported winds are in true. Convert this into magnetic to bring your runway direction and wind direction at equal level. So variation is 17 east. That means magnetic will be least. So wind velocity will be 210 minus 17, 193 magnetic. Now let's draw the runway. This is your north datum, runway 050. So this will be your runway 05, this will be your runway 23. You are departing from runway 05. Okay. Winds are coming from 210. It's a combination of tailwind and crosswind. We have to calculate the maximum wind speed that can be accepted without exceeding the tailwind limit. So you are going to use the formula, which is first find theta. Theta is equal to wind direction minus runway direction. Winds are 193. Runway is 047. So 193 minus 47 is 146. Now tailwind component formula is wind speed into cos theta. Now here tailwind component is 10 knots. You have to find wind speed. Theta is 146. So wind speed equals to 10 divided by cos 146, that is equal to 12. That is equal to 12 knots. So closest option is option delta. Okay, cos 146. So 12 knots I am getting in my CX3. So correct option will be delta. Closest is 11. Next, question 89. Maximum allowable crosswind component is 20 knots. Maximum allowable crosswind component is 20 knots. Runway 06, accurate orientation 063, runway 066 as we will call it, wind direction 100, magnetic. So both runway and winds are with respect to magnetic datum. Consider maximum wind speed. Simple. So theta will be equal to your wind direction minus runway direction. So 100 minus 63 is 37. Now crosswind component equals to wind speed into sine theta. 20 knots equals to wind speed into sine 37. So wind speed will be equal to 20 divided by sine 37. Sine 37 is, so this is equal to 33 knots. So the final answer will be option alpha. Maximum allowable wind speed 33. Next, true course given, distance, dash, winds given, starting time is given to you. So first we will use CX3 and find ground speed. So course is 250, dash is 450, winds 200, 60. So ground speed is 409 knots. Distance A to B is 315 nautical miles. So the time taken to travel from A to B is distance by speed 315 by 409, that is 46 minutes. Now your departure time is 0650. So your arrival time will be departure plus 46 minutes, 5 hours 15 minutes. Correction. 6 hours 50 plus 46 minutes, 7 hours 36 minutes. Option delta. Okay. 7 hours 36 minutes. Simple. We'll stop here. I'll do the next questions in my next video lecture. Till then, you keep practicing these questions that I have solved in this video lecture. All are CH3 based, quick to solve, easy to score. So score maximum marks in your exams should these questions get asked in your exam paper. I wish you all the best, and I request you all to share this video with all your friends so that they may also practice these questions with me. So see you in the next video lecture.